All right, everybody. So, something that I've noticed with a lot of my Sherpa sessions and stuff with new players is that they don't exactly know how to go about finding stuff, navigating, uh, orienting themselves with a map, etc. They just don't know how to go about playing the game, basically, right? So, what I want to teach you guys in this video is how to use uh, a third-party map. For this example, we'll be using Map Genie and the wiki and a little bit of deduction to create a mission plan for whatever you set out to do in Tarkov. So this is going to be using a couple early game quests as an example, but this is a method that could translate to anything, because how we're going to break down the map could be translate to anything such as a loot run, other quests, PvP, or hunting scavs, okay? And I'll try to cover a few of those in these examples, okay? So we're going to do this probably just off the cuff, no script or anything, so forgive any kind of errors and stuff. But you see here, let me check that I have it up. Okay, good. So you see here that I have my web browser open and I have Map Genie pulled up. So mapgenie.io/Tarkov is the map that I like to use. And it's interactive and stuff, which you'll see in a second. If you haven't checked it out, definitely start using this one. But you see here, I already have some browser tabs open with the quests that we're going to be referencing. The first one's going to be the Salua quests, and the other one's going to be whatever the hell, gas analyzer quests, to help out a lot of new players that need gas analyzers still. All right, so the first thing that you want to do is you want to go to the wiki, and then you're going to want to search for what you need. So of course, we're going to need Saluas. So we search the Salua. Assuming that we don't know what the name of the quest is, you can just search an item like that, and then it'll tell you exactly what quest it's needed for. So we need 3 to be found in raid or crafted for the quest shortage. Okay. So they're located in secret stashes. That's what these are, secret stashes. In medical bags, those orange bags. In medical supply crates, they're big brown boxes, and if you click on them, obviously it shows you another picture of these things. Oops. All right, there we go. Fixed it. All right, so you see here, obviously in the picture, big brown box. Okay, so there's technical ones of these, there's foods ones of these, there's medical ones of these, and they all look the same, and you won't know what it is until you open it, and then you remember what it is. But don't worry about that too much. And here's all the loot that's inside of them, the possible spawns. Okay, so medical stuff, secret stashes, sports bags, which are duffel bags, and weapon box 5x2. These are the big ones. Oh, no, they're not. The long green ones. Okay. So basically, all the typical small, loose loot container, or whatever you want to call them. Simple enough. So one small tip for finding the Saluas and stuff is a lot of people, they like to go customs. But another good place to grab the Saluas is actually Woods. So let's take a look at Woods real quick. And the reason being that Woods is a good one is because there's 2 possible spawns that you can get that end you up right by these areas that have lots and lots of medical loot. So those locations would be up here, USEC camp, and military camp down here, okay? I know that from experience, but let's say that you didn't know anything. So what you want to do is you want to hide all the icons, because you see here there's a lot of stuff going on. So hide all the icons. And then what are we looking for? We're looking for Saluas. So we remember that it was inside of medical containers, duffel bags, crates, and caches, okay? Well, the caches are numerous and all over. So I say we probably shouldn't go for those. Duffel bags, personally, I don't go out of my way to loot duffel bags, and their loot pool is so large that the idea of getting a Salua from one of them is more luck than it is by design. So forget that. And then the crates, let's see here. So it doesn't quite tell us which crate is which. So we're going to go ahead and just forget about that. Now, maybe if you're learning the game still, investigating those places would be good for gaining experience, but I'm just going to go ahead and shortcut to the point where we're at now, which is showing all the medical spawns. So obviously we got some here. We got one thing here, and we got things here. And if you hover over them, it shows you what they are. So this is a singular medical bag. And then there's numerous stuff here. Multiple bags, loose meds, supply crate, supply crate. And then up here, we have loose medical supplies and medical supply crates. Okay. Now let's turn on location. And location is going to show us the callouts of all the areas. So looking at this, we're going to want to go to military camp, which is southeast of the sawmill, the main hotspot of this map. Or we're going to go to USEC camp, which is to the northwest of the sawmill, the center point hotspot focus area of the map. Now, how are we going to get there? Okay, well, let's look at spawn points. Spawn points, obviously, all over the border. Now, looking at this, if we separate it into a line through the middle here, we pretty much divide the map up in east and west, right? Well, so are the spawns divided east and west. If you notice, there's no spawns here right on the center line. So if you spawn off the center line to the west, your extraction is going to be to the east. And if you spawn off the center line to the east, then your extraction is going to be on the west. Even if you're, say, for example, right here, east, right here, west. So with that in mind, we're going to want to plan a route revolving around that idea. Hold on one second. Okay, so if we spawn over here, then our best bet would be to choose a direction. We're going to want to either go straight up here, or we're going to want to go straight over here. And in this case, I would try both. I would try either single one. But if we look here at bosses, right, and scavs, then we notice that this is going to be a much more risky approach. Not only do we have all these AI enemies here, but we also have multiple spawns. Depending on where we spawn, if we spawn over here, we may even need to cross over here. But then we also have all of these spawns that could be anywhere by the time that we cross from here over to here. And there's many ways to go about this transition. I prefer to go along the water here by jetty down here, which usually allows you to avoid all of this. But is it risky? It sure is. Now, if we look at the map here, if we spawn over here and we choose to go up, then we're going to hit possibly spawns here, here, or here. And these spawns are the worst because they may rush right here and take the things that we're looking for. So with that in mind, it's easy to deduce that we have a bit of a problem if we spawn over here. Now, whenever you're trying to do a mission and stuff and you spawn over here, aka or anywhere far away from your objective, you're going to want to reconsider or maybe readjust your plan. So heading directly from here to one of our objectives is not recommended. Sure, you can get it done, and sure, sometimes you may need to get it done because you're just trying to get shit done. You're trying to get your quest done. And what's the point of sitting in a bush or doing something else when you can just go for it, right? And that's a good attitude to have because most of the time, if you do that and your skills are up to par, it'll work out. But as a new player with a lack of experience, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to try to ensure survival. So what I would recommend in a situation where you end up far away from your objective and it's out of your control, aka spawning, is I would plan a route that basically wastes some time. So for example, I probably go from here down here over to ZB14, and if I had the key for that, I'd loot that, or even if not, maybe kill some scavs around here, rotate from over here, check out attachment cabin, kill some time, listen for gunshots and shooting, and if you hear gunshots over here, then go here, then go up here. If you hear gunshots over here, then go over here, and try to play try to play off the audio of where people are to try to make your decision in the moment. And in the meantime, try to get some XP through scav kills, secondary objectives, or looting. Now, once you've looted and stuff, what I'd recommend, because USEC camp and military camp are extreme hotspots, I'd recommend getting there a little bit late and approaching it very carefully, and then trying to look for signs of PMCs having looted. And even if they have, try to just quickly investigate, because a lot of the times Saluas are something people might not pick up, seeing as many people already passed that quest by now. So That's one example. All right, but for the other example, let's quickly break down what if we spawned right by these. So if we spawned right here, obviously we would want to rush here. And that's kind of how you want to go about tackling these quests when you're required to find something. You want to play the map until you either successfully manage to find it through hard work or until you manage to spawn by it, grab it, and then successfully extract. And then that becomes the hard part at that point. And talking a little bit about extractions, if we look at the map now, we're going to want to be able to factor that in as well. So if we spawned over here, a benefit to taking the risk to pushing across to military camp is that these spawns all have old station, sorry, not old station, that's a scav extraction, UN roadblock and RUAF roadblock as extraction options. So theoretically, you could push from here straight across, loot 2 Saluas, 2 or 3, and then extract all within 7 to 10 minutes. But things rarely go that well. However, if we're up here, then we're going to want to be careful because obviously we're very, very far from extractions. So seeing as our spawn points up here are going to need to extract over here, a better plan would be to utilize the bridge car extraction, which requires rubles. So 5,000 rubles each, depending on your scav karma. The lower that is, the more it'll be. Mine is 30,000 rubles or 50,000 rubles or something with -8. And right here would probably be ideal because then we go here, we rush this, we grab this, we could work our way through the forest, avoiding hot spots directly here, and be the first one there within 10 minutes and leave successfully. However, if you planned your route to loot here and then cross here, look at how many spawns we're crossing through. A dozen. At least probably, because all these guys are going to be rotating this way, right? So if you got all these guys rotating this way and you're rotating this way, not good. But all right, so let me all right, so that's basically kind of how you want to look at things here. So let's look at a different quest, sanitary standards. All right, so sanitary standards, hand over 1 gas analyzer. Same thing, we look it up on the wiki. Commonly found throughout interchange inside of electronic stores and on industrial shelves. Gas analyzer. So it's found secret stashes, on dead scavs, secret stashes, duffel bags, technical supply crates, toolboxes, and on shelves. Now, that's a lot to cover, but basically, there's no way you would know this as a new player, and you'd want to try each one either at the same time or separately. But basically, I know that this wipe, by paying attention to discussion in the community, that the best way to find gas analyzers is as loose loot spawns. And I've heard a lot of good success from interchange. So, assuming that we were a new player, we needed to get our gas analyzers. Let's take a look at interchange. So, interchange is a lot more complicated. Mainly because navigating inside is harder and not getting lost is really hard and stuff, but we're going to give it a shot anyways. So let's follow the same procedure as last time. So locations. Well, that's not helpful, is it? Turn that off. Spawn points. Okay. So already we can clearly see a division here in the middle. Again, like every map, you'll notice this is a common thing. So we got west and east here. And we see, unlike woods, which has more of a circular concentration of everything, we have a northwestern and southeastern concentration of spawns. But basically, once again, around the whole perimeter. Now, looking at, let's see, toolboxes, we'll notice we have a lot of tools available here, and along the back here, and all over here. But, let's see, what would be like tools? I say loose loot would probably be the one to select. And looking at the map with the locations and stuff makes sense. But if you were to look at this map, it would be hard to tell exactly where gas analyzers would be. But that's kind of part of the game. A lot of the game is kind of designed to be something where you find it out for yourself, right? And I think the best way to learn where stuff like that is in this day and age is just to ask somebody experienced in the Discord, because that's how you would get to know the easiest that the gas analyzers are an ollie. Okay, so if you don't know where to find something and you've checked the wiki and you've checked the map and you still can't tell, just give someone an ask and someone will be happy to answer you, because everybody knows this. Everybody knows this. You probably already do too. But this is just for an example of how to go about trying to find stuff. All right, so let's break down our mission plan here. So we need to get here, or we need to get here. Now we spawn over here, then obviously we're set. We book it right here, and we probably loot this, we check, we loot this, and we check, and then we are able to probably extract right here. We have extractions right here. So the good thing about interchange is you have the two main extractions on either corner of the map, and if you spawn over here, you're going to end up over here, and if you spawn over here, you're going to end up over here for extraction. So all we got to plan is basically a direct route through the map. However, if we spawn over here, that's not great. It's not great at all. We would have to work our way into idea. However, instead of being able to pretty much end up right there the second we enter to our objective, we're going to have to cross in from here, cross up, and then cross all the way to the back, risking these guys being here, which is often the case because there's a hot spot right here and people like to rush. So really, in my opinion, idea is worst off for our goal, but still possible. There's some other loot spots around here. And with the dynamic loot changes, honestly, things like gas analyzers can spawn millions of places. But that just gives you an idea. Another place would be to maybe check here, right? So looking at this collection, this cluster, and this cluster, 4 to 5, this is actually better than this. And it's going to be less contested than this, because all these guys are going in here. And you may be this guy, right? So all you got to do is you got to wait a little bit. You swing back here. Then you kind of come in here. You check these spawns. As you pass them, you get here. You check this, blah, blah, blah. And then you just work your way into here. And if this guy is still hanging around, it's a 1v1 or 1v whatever, how many mates he's got, right? Whereas if you go in here, the possibilities are endless. So that's something to consider. And as well, if you do end up pushing this, then Power Station has a SUV there, and you could extract with your gas analyzers right away. All right. But that gives a little bit of insight. So let's say that you needed to kill scavs real quick instead, right? So looking at the map, hopefully by now you guys get the idea of what we're trying to do here. Spawns here, scav here, scav here, scav here, scav here. We spawn right by scavs. Scavs mainly inside the middle, right? But I also know, just based on my map experience, that scavs spawn underground. So basically, we'd want to spawn here, check this, either push up here and check this, and then check this, and then leave, or push in here. That would be the safe option. Push in here, check this, push in here, through here, check this, push through here, check this, push through here, check this, extract. And that would be the route for the mission. And doing something like that, you'll either die from PvP or you'll encounter 5 to 10 scavs and get your quest done. But instead of, you know, just going in blind, you want to try to look at the map and see, okay, so I know they're here, I know they're there. So if I start at Emercom, all I need to do is make sure that when I leave the mall, I find this go-kart track over here, or I find the parking lot side. And I know that as soon as I'm on the parking lot side, I got to make sure I'm not on the green side, but I'm on the blue side. Or I'm not on the blue fence side, but I'm on the dirt side. And you can use these little kinds of landmarks and indicators on the map to orient yourself and navigate easier and find extractions easier, as well as checking extractions by pressing double O to remind yourself of what side you need to be on. But all right, guys, I think I'm going to wrap it up there. I hopefully that shed a little more light on kind of how you want to use these interactive maps in the wiki to guide yourself in quests. And if you guys have any more specific questions, let me know in the comments. Maybe I'll do a revised version of this video. sometime soon, but I think that was long enough. So, all right, guys, thanks. Peace. Our shit's in. So now
Yep.
go over to the map and go to customs. Alrighty. Look at my stream again. All right.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. So here we are. So I've hidden all the icons with hide all. You're watching, right?
Yeah, I'm looking at yours.
Okay. So the point that I made by identifying what it's in, and there's even a category for it here, is it's a medical item. So
Meds.
we're gonna do meds, right? So now we have an image of all the med spawns, locations on the map. These are
Wow.
building interiors. This is crack house.
Hmm.
You can also turn on locations for the callouts. So crack house here, that's shown right here. This is fortress, and this is the interior of fortress. So we can see right away that the collection of medical locations is in this area here, right? Now we also
Yeah.
have some over here, and we have some over here. So there's three locations really. This is worthless. There's one over there that's worthless. So okay, so we have the locations of them. So now we'll want to check spawn points. So spawn points are where we could start in the game.
Okay.
And over time, you'll know because you'll spawn on all of them. But looking at this map, and you can break this down for this map, but any map, but let's break it down, right? So we see here, we have spawns to the east and to the west, but not really any in the center.
Hmm.
So we see that there's three in the center, four if you count this one. Two are on
Yeah.
this side and two are on this side. So let's focus on this portion first, right? Because this side over here is separated by a wall and they'll be late. Now let's
Okay.
imagine it looks like based on these spawn points, we're going to need to make three different plans, okay? We're going to need a plan for east, center, and west because that's the three possible locations we could spawn in, all right? So let's make a plan for center first. So center has four possible spawns. And you can spawn in any of these, and anyone else can spawn in any of these, but it's not guaranteed, but it's likely that at least
Right.
one of these spawns is going to have someone in them. So, looking at this, we want to take, first of all, note of this spawn and this spawn. If we get this spawn, we are going to know that we are good unless someone is right here to loot this first and guarantee our chance to get it there. So, we're going to want to
Okay.
get either this spawn or this spawn to loot this guaranteed, or this spawn or this spawn to loot this guaranteed. And while we're here or here, we know we need to be worried about this or this for probably the first 2 minutes, right?
Okay.
In case they come here. Now, the problem with these locations are these are major hotspots. Right in the center is where all the action is at customs. So we're gonna have trouble here really quickly. Pretty much guaranteed. Now, if we spawn here, we have probably about a 4 minute window before this trouble gets over, maybe shorter, right? So looting these locations quickly would be extremely important because this whole side of the map is coming our way after they're done over here.
Okay.
So let's see if we spawn over here. If we spawn over here, we got big problems. Not so much big problems if we spawn right here or right here, because then we can just head over. And then we know
Yep.
we need to beat whoever is contesting this house if they chose to go there.
Okay.
But we also need to be wary of any possible ambushes crossing over here, right here from anybody over here. So if we spawn back here, we'll also need to pass by at least two PMC spawns, and they could be camping either of these points. So basically, if we
Mm.
spawn all the way back here, I would say kill some time and check out this one, and hope to God there's one in there and loot some other shit, and then just
Okay.
come clean up the scraps over here and hope someone didn't grab one because they don't want it, right?
Okay.
But rushing from here to here, just because that's where they're at, will get you killed. You will die. You'll die. It's not really the way to play this game, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Many people they see an objective, okay, A to B. Just realize that you're taking the most risk you possibly place on yourself by doing that. A better choice would be to check safer things, loot normally, survive the raid, and then try again and try to get the spawn
Okay.
closer.
That's fair. Yeah.
Now the east side spawns, we can really quickly break this down. This one has a warehouse right here that has a basement that has some. If we spawn anywhere over here, we can do a route basically going here or reverse, and based on which one we're closer to. And we gotta watch out for people basically in a fucking clusterfuck over here.
Right.
And we're too far from the middle to even think about it. So make sense?
Yeah. A quick question about the spawns. Is it changed now to where there's like one lobby and everyone spawns in at the same time now?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I hadn't played since they changed that.
Only on your
So
PMC though,
that's
not
what
your
I was
scab.
only when what?
Only on your PMC, not your scab. If you're slow at loading, you'll load in late on your scab.
Okay.
All right, so now extractions. Uh, Obviously, they're around the perimeter here, and how the game works is you always spawn. You always spawn. You always have extractions on the opposite side of where you spawn, right? So if we spawn over
Okay.
here, we gotta extract over here, and if we spawn over here, that's why there's no spawns in the middle. That's kind of the dividing line, right?
Mhm.
So all you gotta know is if you spawn over here, you're gonna have to cross a bridge, and if you spawn over here, you're gonna cross a bridge of some sort at the beginning. So just don't cross a bridge twice if you don't want to get lost.
Mhm.
But all right. So with that in mind, let's go into a real raid and execute the